open and vulnerable. That's something that can be hard for us. But lately that's been something that I've actually been practicing more and more because, you know, as INFJs, there's parts of us that we like to hold back. And it can be good, but it can also be bad. And this is how I basically get myself to be more open and vulnerable is I think about how I can make a more positive impact with the world, or for the world, or yeah, in the world. How I can make a more positive impact in the world if I am open and vulnerable with things that I have been through, experiences that I've had, thoughts that I've had, you know, I'm not all the way there yet. I'm not perfect at this, but that's one way that I think about it is, if I share this, is it going to help somebody else out there? And usually if I'm going through some kind of dilemma or problem, I won't talk about it until I am through it. And that's just how I work, you know, because I have to be able to have time to sort through it, to really understand it all so that I can explain it in a way that's going to help somebody else out. Because I don't want to be like, hey, I'm going through this crappy situation, but I don't know how to fix it. You know what I mean? Like, so I wait until I am through a scenario and I can have time to reflect on that experience and look at what I learned from it, and then I can put it out there for other people so that they can hopefully get some kind of benefit out of it. So that's how I think about being open and vulnerable, is just like, is it going to help somebody? Is it going to impact somebody else's life? Now, being open and vulnerable, like in relationships, that's a whole nother world. I feel like it's hard to be open and vulnerable in relationships if you don't feel safe. So you really have to make sure that you feel safe, and you have to have communication with the other person. And if you don't feel safe, just be like, look, I feel really uncomfortable right now. I don't feel safe to even like express my emotions or what I'm going through. And then maybe that other person can understand and be like, you know, okay, why don't you feel safe, and this and that. And it gets the ball rolling on how to be open and vulnerable with each other, and it just kind of, it cracks the door open just a little bit, and you can gauge whether it's going to go good or bad as soon as you say that. You know, the person's either going to be like, oh, they're going to get offended that you don't feel safe around them, or if they actually care about you, they're going to be like, okay, well, why? And they're going to want to hear you and understand you, and then you can work through it. So that's kind of how I think about it for relationships, is just like take an approach of like, hey, I'm like really uncomfortable right now, and I just don't feel safe to talk about it. And you know, you're either going to go further into that or you're not going to go further into that, but at least you put that out there. It was like one little tiny step of being open and being vulnerable. And for us, sometimes all we can handle is that one little tiny step, and any step is really okay. Maybe, you know, hopefully the person understands and they're like, okay, you don't feel safe and you're feeling really uncomfortable right now, and then they can like give you your space and then come back at it in like a couple hours or the next day or whatever. So that's kind of my take on it, my perspective on it. And yeah, so having an impact in the world, how is it going to help somebody else out there? That's how I can be open and vulnerable, like on the internet and things like that, and not really care about what people think, because I'm trying to make an impact in the world. And then when it comes to relationships, just really having good communication and taking that first little tiny step. You know, just saying one little tiny thing and engaging where it goes, and you know, if it doesn't go good, then just take a step back and recharge and think about how it can be approached from a different angle. So hope this video helped you guys in some kind of way, and I will see you guys on the next one.